Hi, and welcome back to Own Your Peace. I am your host, Andy Thewison, and today we are diving deep into Sagittarius season. We just got done with Scorpio season, where we were asked to really go deep, to really go into a period of rebirth within our souls, letting go of what no longer served. That is Scorpio, the death and rebirth of a version of ourselves. And I know so many of you have really felt that this Scorpio season, as we're ending out this year, where I talked about a couple weeks ago of this, year of the snake, this year of the nine, and really shedding what no longer serves us as we move into these next reiterations of ourselves. And so that sets us up perfectly for Sagittarius season because season is such a beautiful respite after Scorpio season because Scorpio season be heavy, people. It really takes us to our souls for that rebirth. And then we emerge into Sagittarius season, which is all about fire, expansion, deep esoteric meaning, and really pointing our arrow, because Sagittarius is the archer, into what our next becoming is. So, this episode will work with Sagittarius energy through the lens of astrology. Of course, I'm going to tie in some human design and really deep soul strategy so you can take your next aligned steps into deeper expansion. Let's talk about breaking down the archetype of the Sagittarius. So, what are the core themes of Sagittarius? First of all, they're a fire element. This is all about inspiration, enthusiasm, and momentum. Then we move into that it's a mutable energy. We're now in between season. We just kicked off fall last month, and now we are in the middle of seasons. And then we move into December, which is, of course, Capricorn season, and we get back into that cardinal energy. So, right now, we're in this mutable in between season where this lends to that energy of adaptability, of shifting perspectives, of being able to change quickly. So that is what immutable energy does. They're just a little bit less fixed and they can change. They're really adaptable. And that's one of the benefits and blessings of being a mutable sign. They are ruled by Jupiter, which is all about abundance, growth, and big picture vision. And their archetype is that of the seeker, truth, freedom, and exploration. So this really is this adventurous, like seeing what's beyond energy. So we had this really tear down with Scorpio season, and now we're ready to move forward with this rebirth, this reimagining of ourselves as we move into Sagittarius season. It almost feels like there's crackling energy starting to burn within us. And I feel this so deeply. So I wonder if you're feeling it too. I almost think as I was kind of looking over the energies of my notes and everything, and I know I talked about out of the year of the snake and then moving into the year of the horse, I almost feel like the Scorpio season and moving into Sagittarius season is that same energy on some level where we just really had a month of shedding and going deep within ourselves, and now we're like, okay, let's go, let's get this momentum, let's spirit this new birth that we just experienced into new directions. And of course we have the holidays and we have this excitement and electricity in the air right now. So it's really kind of a fun time of year. Sagittarius season really invites us to say yes to adventure, inner and outer adventures, really trusting our deep intuition and taking aligned risks. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which is all about luck and expansion. So taking those calculated risks and really expanding your own self-belief is important to think about at this time through this season. It's about reconnecting to our purpose, releasing dogma, rigidity, and smallness. This is a really time to think big and to see what's possible for yourself and releasing anything that has kept you small. So that is kind of the energy that we're stepping into. Okay, let's talk about the shadow and light energies of Sagittarius. Like, what are some of the things that we should watch out for and kind of some things that we can step into? On a shadow expression, There's some scattered energy here. I just think about, when you are on fire and there's a lot of energy boiling between you, it's kind of hard to direct that sometimes. So there might be a little bit of scatteredness right now. There can be a little bit of spiritual bypassing here because, again, they're the optimists. They're seeing the glass half full all the time and not necessarily taking the rose-colored glasses off. Avoiding the details. Again, they are here to think big, not necessarily on the day-to-day stuff. Over promising and burnout. So really managing your energy, because that fire energy is so full of life, but managing it and directing it in a really good way. Dogmatic righteousness. My truth is the truth. So this is kind of the shadow sides of Sagittarius. They're very tied into esoteric wisdom. But they also, shadow side here, they can go from teaching to preaching pretty quick because they are meant to be the teachers. They learn wisdom and they share it. That's a really big part of their mission. But again, going from teaching to preaching, not that big of a leap. So if you find yourself on a soapbox this time of year, really like laying into this is my truth and the only truth, that's some Sag energy right there. So maybe get off your soapbox as we are heading into Thanksgiving weekend with this Sagittarius energy very strong right now. This is not the time to go into political conversations with people or things that might get a little heated because, again, there's this tendency to think that my truth is the only truth and there isn't that openness to hearing other people's sides of things. So maybe just keep it quiet or maybe just notice for yourself when you get a little heated and on your soapbox a little too much. It's kind of a fun thing to look at, but it can happen. And this is a perfect time for it because you're with everybody with the big feelings and the big beliefs. So just something to look out for. Again, I've always said this, astrology is a really good thing to look at. And that's kind of like that weather forecast. So there is a tendency for people to argue beliefs this time of year. So just in the forecast, watch out for it. Okay, what is the higher expression of Sagittarius energy? It's that optimism rooted in alignment. It's inspired leadership. It's soul-led courage. It's big picture clarity. It's bringing meaning to the mundane. So these are things that can also really be amplified this time of year. And you can use these themes to step into this new rebirth that you just went through in Scorpio season. So let's talk about human design and how these energies really tie into Sag energy. This is a really good time to focus back in on your strategy and authority as your internal compass. Expansion through alignment, not hustle. This is so important to remember this time of year because it is easy to get into that hustling energy. And then we have this Sag energy that really wants to move and expand and grow and be quick. It's a really good time to take a beat, take a step back, and really like settle into that inner compass of your strategy and authority before just running with things. Again, alignment over hustle will win every time. It's okay to move slow. Your body actually is craving it. So slow it on down, break it into the nervous system, and then move from a really deep aligned space versus like this need to hustle, hustle, hustle. Understanding your energetic role in this collective fire. What is your role as your energetic type? So let's break it on down. For projectors, you're here to follow your spark, follow what your interests are. What do you see differently that other people don't see? Because remember, as a projector, you're here to see, not do. So you're meant to see the world in a very unique way. Follow what sparks your interest. What are you lit up about? Could you like continue studying and not get tired at all? That's always my biggest question I ask projectors is if you're unsure of like what you're meant to see that other people don't see, what could you spend all day researching? What rabbit hole could you just dive down and like stay? Those are really good things to look at for following your spark. And then wait for that recognition for sharing those gifts. And then lead with that wisdom. The wisdom and the way that you see the world is gold. Lead with that. Share your wisdom. Share the way that you see the world. And people will be magnetized to you. For my generators and manifesting generators, because it is a fire season, which is all about inspiration and creativity, this is a beautiful time for you. Let your excitement guide that next step for manifesting generators, that next pivot. For my generators who are a little bit more linear in the way that they move, What's your next step? What's your next way that you're moving and growing in whatever you're lit up about? Follow that. For my manifestors, use the Sag fire energy to initiate and to ignite things in a bold way. Call your next shot. Step into receiving that next urge within you. It's a beautiful time for you. So, my reflectors, this is a really fun time to sample that adventurous energy. What's really cool about being a reflector is every season you get to try on a different hat, a different way of being. So, during this Sag season, lean into being the happy go lucky adventurer, the one who likes to study esoteric wisdom, diving into new trains of thought or ways of studying the world. Maybe you're called to travel right now. Really step into this really beautiful Sagittarian energy and then follow what feels good to you and let that be what leads this season, where you have that ability to kind of like play with energies every month. And then we go to, let's take a step back and look at this through something I'm really excited about lately is the nervous system lens. Expansion requires safety. So as we continue to grow and expand our availability for more, for stepping into higher reiterations of ourselves, there has to be that safety within the self. So make sure you're taking time every day to have some type of nervous system practice, whether that be breath work, whether that be journaling, whether that be meditation, whether that be sitting in stillness. And if you need ideas for daily regulation practices, I have it all within Ignite Your Type. And it's a great tool and resource for you to learn some really beautiful tools that can help you regulate back into safety within the body. And you really have to regulate before taking that leap. Feeling safety within the body, opening yourself up to receive more is so important. And really creating that inner stillness so that your fire feels supportive, not chaotic. Really important. Okay, let's move on to understanding what might be coming up for you based on your rising sign and what part of your chart is being activated this month. So, for my Sagittarius risings, your first house is getting activated. So, this is all about you, boo. This is about your external expression. This is about self and identity rebirth. Moving on to my Capricorn risings, your 12th house is getting activated. So, this is spiritual upgrades, deep intuition, and really maybe some beliefs to look at and see differently that you hold within yourself. Aquarius risings, your 11th house is being activated. So, this is all about friendships and collaborations and working within the collective energy. Pisces rising, this is all about career expansion. This is the 10th house for you. So, this is about public image. Your career, what's going on at work are coming up for you to look at this month. Then we move to Aries rising. So this is the 9th house for you. So again, this is higher learning and travel for you. Taurus rising, this is the 8th house for you. So this is all about deep transformative work. Again, mirroring a little bit of that energy we just had from Scorpio season with that death and rebirth energy moving into this next month for you. For Gemini rising, your partnerships are going to be in the spotlights. That could be romantic partnerships as well as business partnerships. Cancer rising, your daily rituals, the mundane parts of your life, your health are being brought up for you to look at. Maybe you need to bring a little bit more adventure to these parts of your existence. Now, for Leo rising, your 5th house is being activated. So, this is the fun house. This is about more joy and romance and creativity. And with that Sag energy, there's going to be an explorative energy here. So, I love that for you. Virgo risings, this is your 4th house. So, this is your home, your family, your foundations are having this really energetic rebirth here. And then we move into Libra risings. This is your 3rd house. So this is all about communication and self-expression, maybe the way you're showing up on social media or what you're sharing on social media. And then we move to Scorpio risings, and this is all about money, self-worth, abundance. Your 2nd house is on the docket this month to look at. So really looking at maybe your money story, looking about the way you view your own sense of self-worth. These are all things that can come to play this month for you to look at. Now, how do we really anchor in and use this beautiful Sag energy, which is so powerful. I always like to think of Sag as these explorers. We can work and tap into this energy in really beautiful ways, especially as we're anchoring in these energies for 2026 as we move into it. This is a great time for fire magic, for using candle intentions, for fire staring. This is a good time for journaling on your truth and what your truth is. What are your alignments? What are your values? Sag can be a little bit moralistic, is the word I was thinking of. So, what are your morals? What is your high ground? They're kind of like an all or nothing kind of person. They're not going to play the middle road, they're going to be all in or all out. So, what are you all in on? What are you really passionate about? What are you really drawn to as a truth? And again, always leave room for some curiosity, but allow yourself to really feel into what your core beliefs are and your moral compass, like what feels true to you right now. And really, it's a great time to do some higher self visualizations. What are you creating for yourself? What timeline are you on? What are you wanting to create for yourself? This is a great time to work with that Jupiter energy, which is really luck. So, this is a great time to do that. Maybe focus on releasing limiting beliefs through breath work and really starting to tap into vision mapping for the next year. I always like to say this is the time that we are sitting with expansion. We're sitting with where we want to go next. We're mapping things out. So, this is a great time right now to do the work of what do you want to create for yourself next year? What are you going to want to plan for the next year? This is a much more supportive energy for settling into your soul's expansion and really understanding what you want to plant for the next year. So, this is a great time to do that. And then when we move into Capricorn season, we get really more specific and goal oriented. But this is the big thing. I want you to really focus on sitting in your biggest expansion and what's available for you. So, this is a really great time to unleash the mind and let it go big without having to have any thinking you have to fit in within a certain box. This is a great time for that. Um, for aligning your business, like let's talk about business planning, that practical magic. This is a great time launching through expansion, not urgency. Sometimes we can get into frequencies where we feel like we need to launch something because it's a new year. I get exhausted with a new year, new you energy because everyone seems to be launching something like that. But you might be feeling a sense of like, oh, I need to post something or I need to launch something, and you're doing it from a space of urgency because you want to take advantage of where people are buying for the new year, because it does happen. And I don't want you not take advantage of that, but I want you to take a step back. I want you to take a beat and get into that expansive, soul aligned energy and create from that space as opposed to feeling like you have to throw something together before the end of the year. Doesn't that feel better? Doesn't that feel like more grounded in your soul? Never, never create from urgency. If you're creating from urgency, your people are going to feel it. But if you're in a place of like, this feels so aligned, this feels so good to my soul to put this out into the world, that's where you want to always create from. This is a really good time for, again, going back to, what we talked about, rituals and planning and vision mapping. This is a time to do some big vision planning for your business or the business you want to create. It's a great time to sit with that energy. This is about really creating meaning-driven content and really sharing big, expansive ideas. Or just sitting with these big thoughts and deciding, do I want to create something different for myself? Do I want to create something bigger for myself? And sitting with this energy, because there are two types of people in this world. There's those who have an itching within their souls for more. They are going to want to expand and to grow and set themselves on fire because they just can't sit still, because they know they're here for more. And if that's you, you're in the right place. I'm here to support you with that. This podcast is built for that, for those who know that their soul is here for so much more and are wanting to expand their mind space, who are wanting to experience what they share with the world. This is such a beautiful time to sit with that energy of expansion and start deciding how you want to share your light with the world. That's a really powerful time to do that. And I want you to find space in this time of year for that, because I know it can be a little crazy with the holidays and all the, getting ready for Christmas and all the things. Take away the urgency and break things down and have peace this time of year. Enjoy this time of year. Allow it to support you and feel really good. If there's things that are on your plate right now that feel stressful, that feel heavy, that are weighing you down, and you're only doing them because it's expected of you and you feel like you should, or you've always done it that way, but it doesn't feel in alignment anymore, it's okay to let it go. It's okay to put it down. Just because you've always done it doesn't mean you have to continue to do it. So allow yourself to put things down and really choose things that serve your soul and serve what feels good to you right now. I want this time of year, especially where we have had a really hard year. We've had to do a lot of inner work this year. So let this time of year feel really nourishing to you. Allow yourself to baby yourself. Allow yourself to nurture yourself. Allow yourself to dive into a deep, good book and allow yourself to take things slow, to not feel like you have to make goodies for the entire neighborhood. You don't have to send Christmas cards out to everybody every year. Take things slow, take things quiet, do more online shopping if that feels good. Just allow yourself to do what feels good to your soul and to stop picking things up because you feel like you should. And I feel like this time of year is such a time for that, where we feel like we have to have all these obligations and we have to do all these things. And I really want you to look at your list of things. If it's not required, if it's not something, we do have obligations where we have, kids and things and those kind of things, but can you pare that list down? Can you say no and say yes to yourself? That's true Sag energy right there. So let's talk about embodiment. How can we really embody these energies? I talked about saying no to things that really weigh you down. What can you say yes to that feels like a soul leap, that feels really good and expansive to your heart? Reclaiming your joy, reclaiming play and fun, and really letting curiosity lead the way. Sag energy is very much like Gemini energy, where it is really curious. It wants to know things. It wants to learn. It wants to grow. It wants to expand the mind, very much like Gemini energy. So, this is a great time to pick up a new skill or take a course that sounds good to you. Maybe you find a really great Audible book that you can dive into and learn something new. This is a great time to really pick things that feel like fire, that feel like passion in your soul. Okay, just a recap as we close down this really beautiful episode about Sag season. Energy is really your permission slip for expansion, for truth, and aligned possibility. Go back to one of the rituals, one of the practices, and pick one thing that feels really nourishing to your soul and feels like that beautiful yes leap into your soul's highest expression. If you love this episode, if it resonated, please share it. Tag me on social media so I can honor you and say thank you for sharing. Another really great way to be supported as you're leveling up is to join Ignite Your Type, where I have all kinds of things to help you nourish your nervous system. Or if you want one-on-one guidance where we work together, I have my coaching packages, and I also have month-to-month soul strategy sessions where we really help you step into, we, like you and I as a team, work together to really step into your next expression and to feel really supported as you grow your brand, your business, yourself, all those beautiful things. Much love, and I'll see you next week.